Wine labels can cause a real headache sometimes with all of their terminology, especially in a foreign language. Now, Spanish wines are easier than some, but here are the key terms that you need to know to get the most out of your bottle.
Spanish wines are probably the most famous in the world for their aging statements on the bottle. Whether you want a simpler, youthful, fruit-forward wine or a more complex, leathery spice bomb, you do well to look for these following words to give you an idea of what you're getting. Timings change slightly from region to region, but here's the gist.
Joven is a young wine that has usually had no oak, or very little oak in some regions.
Crianza generally has 2 years aging with at least 6 in oak for reds.
Reserva usually has 3 years minimum aging, of which 12 months must be in oak.
Gran Reserva. This is the wine with the most aging, with time in bottle and oak. We're talking a minimum of 5 years, with 18 to 24 months in barrel for red.
Age aside, if you like oak, or if you don't, look out for the word roble or barrica, which means a bit of oak, usually between 2 and 6 months, and this should also be noted on the label.
Whites and pinks follow a similar pattern for bottle aging and oak aging, i.e. the most for Gran Reservas and the least for Jovens. In reality though, you'll rarely see whites or rosés in these categories. The Monasterio de las Viñas range from Grandes Viñas makes a great place to spot the difference between the various aged wines.
When it comes to the colours of the wines, here are the 3 words you need to be on the lookout for. Tinto is red, Blanco is white, and Rosado is pink or rosé.
And what about the word bodega we sometimes see on the bottle? Well, this simply means winery.
Many Spanish wines are known best by their region, rather than the grape variety like many other European countries. Although we are seeing more and more grapes on the labels now too. These wine regions tend to be synonymous with certain grapes. So in Rioja and Ribera del Duero, it's often Tempranillo. In Priorat, it's Garnacha. And in Cariñena, the key grapes are Garnacha, also known as Grenache, and Cariñena, also known as Cariña. The latter, named after the region, thanks to its rich winemaking history.
In English, this means protected designation of origin, so essentially wine regions where every part of the production, processing and preparation process must take place in that specific region. This is also still seen simply as DO, and there are currently 68 DOs in Spain.
There are an awful lot of P's in that paragraph.
Yep.
Viñas viejas means old vines, something that Spain has rather a lot of. Now, old vines make for much more interesting wines, as they have deeper roots and fewer grapes and leaves, meaning what's harvested makes for a much more complex wine. In Cariñena DO, for instance, the minimum age to be considered as old vines is 20 years. It's generally regarded everywhere that the best range for viable older vines is somewhere around 20 to 40 years old. There's some wines are made from vines that are much, much older than that too.
We want to know what's the oldest Spanish wine you've ever had. Put your comments in the box below. Thanks very much for watching.
Adios! Are you okay? Sorry, didn't know that.